Hi. Thank you for attending today's reading. Let's begin. I slapped a child in the face and then shoved him off his scooter. I'm 25. So I have a beloved kitty named Pixie. She was around 4 when I found her on the street. She had a rubber band tightened on half her tail. I spent 2 weeks feeding her until she was comfortable enough to let me near her. She didn't trust anyone. I took her in, cleaned her up, and got the dead portion of her tail amputated. After 5 years, she finally warmed up to people and she became so sweet and friendly. It took her years to be comfortable around strangers. Last month, she was out for her daily stroll around the neighborhood and immediately came back in through the kitty door 20 minutes later. Usually she is out and about for 2 to 3 hours. She had 2 small holes in her chest, and 1 near her butt. She was completely frightened and was crying, meowing. She wouldn't even let me go near her for the first 5 minutes. I knew for certain that she was shot with metal beeps. I take her in my car and start driving to the vet, but took a quick detour around the neighborhood. I was going to take the long way to see if I could find the culprit. Sure enough, I see a kid on a scooter standing on his driveway with a CO2 powered BB gun, aiming in the drainage cavity by the sidewalk. I see cats in there all the time. It was then I knew who the culprit was. I parked the car, got out, walked over to him and said, "I'm telling your parents that you are shooting cats." He replied, "They are pests. They told me I could." The smug little look on his face threw me over the edge. I slapped the fuck outta this bitch, and kick sweeped his legs out from under him and watched him fall flat on his ass. I then picked up his gun and smashed it on the ground. A small part of me wanted to finish him off with a stomach kick for good measure. But I'm fucking 25, so I looked both ways before crossing the street. And fucking bolted. As I hopped in my car and sped away, I heard him shrieking in the distance. My kitty was treated, and is doing okay. She is a lot more skittish and spends less time outside. Edit. In case you're wondering, I'm pretty sure the cops were called. When I came back I saw a few strolling around. I was sure I was D.O.N.E. I've never been in trouble or done shit like this. Anyways, I drove by and literally nothing happened. It's been a month. I think I'm good. End of story. Next story. I am having such a hard time keeping my adoption secret. I've been a foster dad to my son since he was 5. He is now 9. He's been through a lot and has made significant progress. I am so proud of him. I've been trying to officially adopt him and have spent over $30,000 over the last 2 years to make it happen. He has no idea. The social worker came by to visit and I told him it was to see how he was doing. But he was worried that I might be getting rid of him, so he's been very anxious and clingy. But I've been a bit emotional too. I am getting the paperwork all signed and sealed by my lawyer this Thursday. When the dumbass judge comes back to work, I want to surprise him by showing him that he is officially my son. Although he always was and will. I thought about surprising him with the news at his favorite restaurant this Saturday with his aunt and uncle and cousins. Keeping this secret is harder than the actual adoption. End of story. Next story. When I was younger, my mom talked to me about how my online footprint could affect my future and I started crying. I thought I would never be able to get a job. I looked up cheat codes for Lego Star Wars TCS. End of story. Next story. My wife doesn't really know why our sons got into a fist fight with each other. We have 16-year twin boys who pummeled each other a few weeks ago. It took me and a neighbor to break them up. My wife was upset and stunned because they really don't fight. I told her it was because one didn't clean up after himself and it escalated from there. Teen boys. Hormones. Etc. I don't her to forget about it and not to bring it up because they were ashamed. She let it go and held on to the belief that her sons are sweet little angels. The truth is that they got into a fight because Twin A stole Twins B last condom and Twins B's girlfriend didn't have in Plan B. So Twin B wasn't going to get laid and attacked Twin A. My wife thinks Twin B is a virgin because he has a baby face and told her so. Why did Twin A steal his condom? For sex. With another boy. My wife thinks he's the one who is going to be a man-whore with women because he has so many female friends. Edit. People making comments about the condoms Twin B was getting them for free at school. But the school closed. He didn't plan on that happening. He didn't want to stash 'em up because my wife will freak if she found him and she does go through his stuff. His girlfriend had Plan B. But also ran out and doesn't want to ask her mom. His girlfriend will not have sex without a condom or Plan B. That's why I don't buy him condoms. End of story. Next story. I'm having a mental breakdown in a bathroom right now. I'm staying with my boyfriend's family for a couple days. I like to consider myself a reasonable person and not a huge germaphobe. But I am having a fucking mental breakdown in the bathroom right now. So sitting at the table with them. If you ask for more mashed potatoes or a refill on milk or whatever, they'll look around to see who has potatoes or milk left that they aren't going to finish and dump it in your plate or hand over their cup. And if you say, "Oh, no thanks, I'd rather get my own," they insist it's no problem at all. Then his grandma insists you clear your plate and snaps at you to finish your milk. It's so disgusting. AAAAAGHHH. I have social anxiety. I came out to make myself a cup of coffee and Grandma insisted I finish off her 1/3 cup. This is my fucking worst nightmare. Oh, and my idiot boyfriend insisted on washing my clothes before we head back and washed all of my brass. So now I get the joy of wearing a thin white tank top without a bra around his family or hiding in the bedroom the rest of the trip. Or until they dry. But WTF dude. Edit. Thank you for the silver and gold. I managed to keep my shit together until I got home last night. I was on day 4 of this when I originally made the post. And not having access to even my own cup of coffee and having someone try to force me to drink their old warm backwash pushed me over the edge. There was also a lot of other issues that exacerbated this situation. The shower and bathroom were disgusting. There's a lot of dust everywhere that irritated my asthma and allergies. And his father has disgusting table manners, like rip smelly farts type stuff. I told my boyfriend on the way home and he was very kind and understanding and said he would take care of it in the future. I shouldn't have called him an idiot in the midst of an anxiety attack. Even if it was anonymously to a bunch of strangers. He's a good guy. And actually very clean and different from his family in that regard. They are bordering on being hoarders. Anyways, if I see them again, I'm getting a hotel and eating before I go there. To everyone saying it's not gross or that I'm overreacting. I hope a seagull poops in your mouth. End of story. That is all for today. If you want to support my automated channel, feel free to drop a like and subscribe. See you tomorrow.